3, 2, 1. Wanna be artist 2026. Wanna be artist 2026. Wanna be artist 2026.
Want to be artist 2026.
Hey Justin, has anything interesting happened to you in your life the last couple days? Wanna be artist 2026.
Want to be artist 2026.
Welcome back to the Wanna Be Artist podcast 2026.
I'm your host, Josh.
And if you didn't hear me, which you should have, I'm Justin, your other host.
And we're back.
I mean, back for the second time in 2026.
True. Want to be artist
Um,
2026.
to anyone who listened to our very long 2025 episode, thanks.
You're a legend for that one.
Yeah, we hope we treated you in some way
Yeah.
with that big old length episode.
Hopefully we didn't bore you. I feel like we had pretty good conversation for those 4 hours.
I think so too. And since we had a break, an actual break between the segments,
We didn't run out of juice.
no.
Full steam ahead.
Okay, 2026. So no bullshit.
Mhm.
Straight to the conversation piece.
And since it's 2026, we're going to be talking about stuff that isn't from 2026.
Got him. I guess you're right. I didn't even think about that. But that intro was a reference to an awesome movie that came out at the end of 2025. And that is, of course, MARTY SUPREME, Christmas Day. MARTY SUPREME, that came out on Christmas Day.
And it takes place on Christmas Day.
Dude,
it doesn't.
just it's just the perfect Christmas movie.
I know.
Anyway, though, this movie is directed by Josh Safdie, one half of the Safdie brothers. And this is their, believe it or not, I counted this earlier. I should have this down. Sorry, I'm just double checking.
So guys, how we doing? How we doing tonight? Y'all want to hear a joke?
Okay, it's Josh Safdie's 8th feature film project.
8th. Okay, I was almost there. You guys don't get a joke.
And yeah, this year, so the Safdie brothers split up and decided they're going to work on projects individually. We had Benny Safdie, who directed The Smashing Machine, starring The Rock this year. And yeah, now we have Josh Safdie's project, solo effort. And I don't know, I really think that starting with Good Time, they kind of entered like a new era of like their direction and storytelling. And I really feel like this is almost like the thematic like third chapter to I don't know what you can call it, like the anxiety, chaos, egomaniac trilogy.
Yeah. I agree. It kind of feels like the culmination of all that they've done in their career.
Yeah, and I've really liked what they've been doing like separately. Like we had Benny Safdie doing The Curse.
Oh yeah, The Curse was an amazing show. I didn't watch The Smashing Machine, but I heard it was decent.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. That one is definitely a much more standard, biopic movie. Good performance from The Rock. But I think this one, MARTY SUPREME, really elevates that. It's considered a biopic. It's loosely based off of a real man named Marty Reisman, who is now named Marty Mauser in this film.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very loosely based off his life. And I feel like it just kind of uses that foundation as like groundwork.
Tell its own story.
Yeah. And like elevate what could have been a very generic sports biopic movie.
It's not even really about the sports. Like there's 2 ping pong scenes. And although they're really good, it's not really what the movie is mainly about.
Yeah, like 2 major ping pong scenes.
Yeah. Like you wouldn't call like Uncut Gems like a gambling movie, even though that's like the centerpiece.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. And their 2 most recent projects are that they collaborated on, Uncut Gems and Good Time. This is a very character-centered movie.
Yeah. One character.
Yeah. It's really focusing on the main character and how they kind of gravitate around the world and how they kind of like explode.
Kind of do anything to reach their one and only goal.
Yeah. And I brought this up in our 2025 episode, but I think each film does a really good job at distinctualizing the same kind of character type, but in different presentations We got like different time periods and different age ranges that they're capitalizing on.
Also, their financial or economic status
Oh,
is
you're so
very
right.
different
Yeah.
and kind of influences how the story plays out in all three of these movies.
Yeah. Sorry, we're kind of all over the place, but
There's a lot to talk
yeah,
about.
with Marty Supreme, we've kind of alluded to it, but this is about a ping pong player who, in the simplest of terms, I can just say is very, very ambitious and driven to reach his goal, and he'll go through a lot of shit just to get to it.
Yeah, and he'll do anything
Mm-hmm.
to get to it. It's really interesting because I think this movie kind of tricks you at first. Like you go in expecting a very standard sports biopic, and maybe with like a bit of edge, a bit of that
Mm-hmm.
Timothée Chalamet charisma, especially because of how the first act of this movie goes. But it really like deviates from just being about the sports and more about, his journey to even get to play the sport. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's much more, I think, about the grind set and the trials and tribulations of everything surrounding, chasing a dream rather than a focus on like the dream itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I agree with everything you just said. And I think, I mean, the forefront of like the conversation around this movie is Timothée Chalamet, of course. Not even just because of him being the lead actor, but all of the press he's done
Oh yeah.
surrounding this movie, just how much it seems like A24, Josh Safdie, Timothée Chalamet all believe in this project.
Yeah.
It
I
just
think they
seems,
were
yeah.
locked in for this marketing campaign. Like I've never seen one that's been so sort of incessant, but yet not insufferable.
Yeah. It
Like,
feels very natural.
because I think at least Timothy Chalamet and Josh Safdie, they really understand today's culture
Yeah.
and how to like present their art as something appealing to consumers, not just some like they're not annoying about it, is what I'm saying basically.
Yeah, and to me, it just kind of like reinvokes the themes of the movie, and the
Mm-hmm.
same way they're trying to chase that
Yeah.
spotlight, chase that kind of ambition. Like it reflects the character and the story,
Yeah. It also just
which I think is cool.
reflects like the mindset of a lot of people today.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole hustle culture I mean, it's always been strong in American society, but I think today we're kind of at like the peak of it. We've kind of left that era in pop culture where like being nonchalant was like
Mhm.
kind of like the cool thing. Like now it's cool to like really care about your stuff.
Yeah,
And it's cool to, put in a lot of work and then talk about, putting in all that work.
yeah, and I think Timmy Boy, he puts in that work.
Oh yeah.
Like in terms of his actual performance, tied with my favorite of the year. I mentioned it.
Mhm.
It's between him or Lee Byung-hyun in No Other Choice.
Yeah.
But I think what really separates Timothy Chalamet's performance is how much you can see of himself in the character of Marty
Mhm.
Mauser, and just that level of him having the same kind of personal mantra and like drive
Yeah.
that Marty does really shows in the performance.
Yeah, it's like he does a really good job at like you can feel like the vulnerability of his performance, but you can also just like lose yourself in the character.
Yeah.
I know you have the kind of the issue with Dune and his portrayal as Paul Atreides, where it's like it's kind of hard to buy him as the character, even though his performance is great. And I disagree,
Mhm.
but I think here really he's pretty undeniable. Like,
Yeah.
he's really doing like I think what makes this movie feel so special for me is just like within his career, like this movie just feels so special and like a turning point for
Yeah.
like him as an actor.
I'm gonna have to correct you a little bit. I said that about the first Dune.
Oh, okay.
So the first Dune, it definitely took me a while to warm up to him, but I'd say by the second half of the first movie, I was really
Yeah.
buying his performance. And part two, he's incredible.
Yeah, I definitely think there was like the Timothy Chalamet archetype at the start of his career, where it was like you knew what you're expecting
Yeah.
going into like a movie he's in. But now, like I feel like he's sort of set the precedent that he's much more versatile and can really do anything.
Oh, for sure. I mean, even in his early career, he just showed so much promise.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do remember he did have like a certain what do they say, aura to him, to where he fit very certain roles,
Yeah.
like Call Me by Your Name, Hot Summer Nights, Little Women.
Even like Beautiful Boy too.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like Dune was really like the turning point where I feel like he could really shine in other genres and areas.
And I feel like we're gonna look back and see like Wonka and like Bob Dylan as like this kind of like experimental era where he was like sort of finding his groove. Because I mean, I haven't seen those movies, but it doesn't feel like those movies penetrated the culture as hard as like Marty Supreme has.
As someone who did see both those movies, I'd agree. Like he was very passionate about playing Bob Dylan, but I don't think it came through as great in the performance.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Last year, I feel like if he was nominated for Dune Part 2 at the Oscars or any of the major award shows, I would have much more like preferred that.
Yeah.
But they chose the biopic one, of course.
Of course, yeah.
But besides Timothée Chalamet, I think this is just the perfect classic Safdie brother experience. Like everything, especially filmmaking wise, is perfect. I think the opening really draws you in because the title card is probably their best that they've had.
Yeah.
And they're only like really cinematic one. But it's like a POV shot of like Timothy's or Marty's jizz going into his friend. What's her name?
Is it Rachel?
Is it Rachel?
Played by Odessa Zion.
Yes. And it's a POV shot of all of the sperm cells going into her.
Yeah.
And then it slowly dissolves into a tennis ball and then right into a ping pong ball. This isn't Challengers. This is Marty Supreme. And right into a game. It throws you right into the action. I just thought that was such a bold and funny way to start the movie.
It's hilarious. Yeah. I mean, it's so jarring too because like it's really it's some like the only time I've seen something like this was like Enter the Void, which is a very different vibe of movie. So it's interesting to see it in a more, I guess, like grounded story, if you could say. But speaking of Challengers, it's interesting that we've gotten like 2 sports movies that like aren't about the sports.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of entering like a new era for like the sports biopic or just the sports movie in general, to where like I think we're kind of more interested as an audience in seeing, you know, the mental and the relationship aspect of becoming the best at a sport or like being great at a sport instead of just like being great being the thing that we're here to see.
I'd say so. I've never truly given a shit about ping pong or tennis.
Yeah, I care about
until these movies.
I care about people.
Exactly. And yeah, I never really gravitate towards sports. Happened again. It happened 2 times in a row, 2 episodes in a row. Gravitate towards sports movies.
There you go.
But yeah, when you got filmmakers like Luca Guadagnino, the Safdie brothers tackling them, there's always going to be like something that
like,
heightens
you know, there's
it.
going to be like a twist,
some sauce.
And it's interesting. I didn't even know this was about table tennis till like very soon before I watched it. Like when I saw the trailers, I was like, I thought it was just about like a businessman or something, just like dudes. I thought it was just gonna be like a dudes talking type of film, which like I enjoy, of course, but
I mean, it's a dude movie.
It's a pretty dudey movie. There's a lot of dudes.
Yeah, this one's a duty movie. His last few movies were Dooney movies.
Oh, clever.
I hate myself for that. It was just too perfect. Another really interesting part of this movie is the cast. And I feel like the Safdie brothers always do very interesting things with like finding non-actors. And same thing goes here, except there's a lot more notable names.
Yeah.
And that can always be like a gamble whenever you're making a film. But I think all of these quote unquote actors do a great job at like adding more flavor to the world.
You got Tyler, the creator, and Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank.
Yeah. And we got Abel Ferrara, notable director of Bad Lieutenant, Miss 45, playing an antagonistic character. Yeah.
So pretty interesting choices. I definitely think Tyler was my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, because I think he has potential as an actor. I mean, he's always been interested in film. He's very involved with like his music videos. It's something I've always respected about his artistry. And he has experience. Like he's had like the Odd Future TV show. Obviously, I definitely think he could do more acting if he wanted to. Obviously he's not doing anything too crazy here. He's just playing sort of like himself
Yeah.
within the world, within this world, within the 50s. But I think he does a great job and bounced pretty well off of Timothée Chalamet's performance.
Yeah, he was good, and I'd like to see him in more stuff. Honestly, I was surprised. I was really impressed by Kevin O'Leary.
Kevin O'Leary, yeah.
I just think he has the perfect personality, demeanor, especially for this character that he's playing.
I definitely think they wrote this character with him in mind.
Oh, for
Like, we're
sure.
going to write a character like this. And then they were just like, why don't we just cast him? Which is kind of baller, but also people are very mad at this casting.
Really?
I mean, I don't think people
you
are
seen
like
hate?
outraged, but there's definitely been discussion that I've seen because Mr. Wonderful's not a great guy. But
Mm.
I don't know. It's kind of there's a lot of nuance to it because there's one argument where it's like you can't really police artistic expression. Like if Josh Safdie thought this was the best person to play the role, then you can't really try to censor that. But people on the other side are kind of arguing that this guy's a mega capitalist piece of shit, and that like it kind of goes against the principles of like art because of just what he stands for.
Not untrue, but honestly kind of irrelevant to the conversation.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not discrediting anyone who says that or makes those kind of arguments, but it is kind of irrelevant. He's playing a character.
true. Yeah. I just think I don't want to see him in more stuff. Like I think what he's done here is fine.
Mhm.
Get out of the acting world now.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But I just think he's a great pairing with a character like Marty Mauser.
Oh yeah.
Very straightforward, typical asshole businessman paired against an egomaniac, very stubborn, passionate
Yeah.
young man. Always makes for a great dynamic.
I agree with you. I think the performance was also good. It's another like one of those like he's kind of playing himself roles,
Mhm.
but it works so well within the story and like the context of what's going on. So it's like you can't even like really hold it against the movie. It just works.
Speaking of context, you brought up that this movie, is I guess you can call it a period piece because it takes place in the 50s.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about this today. I think especially with this current political climate, I think it's really interesting to present a character like Marty Mauser who is Jewish and is so like the movie isn't about his like ethnicity or anything, but
He definitely
it's core to his
yeah,
identity.
He says he wants to be like the ultimate product of Hitler's defeat.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
is pretty funny.
And there's like a side character that he meets who's out of the camp, who made it out of the camps and plays ping pong. And there's a classic Safdie Brothers cutaway story time where he talks about how he was kept alive playing ping pong. And then while trying to defuse some bombs, he found a honeybee nest and slathered himself in honey so the rest of his prison mates could lick it off him.
Very, very interesting scene.
Yeah.
I really like it because it's kind of like he's the exact opposite of Marty. He found fulfillment in being selfless and sort of achieving something outside of himself, while Marty is like the complete opposite.
Yeah, and I bring this up. The Safdie brothers they're both Jewish filmmakers. And yeah, there's a lot of themes of like Judaism in Uncut Gems too. And I just always appreciate their willingness to present that and be unfiltered about it.
Yeah, they do a really good job incorporating it into their stories, which is like it adds just another like layer of depth to the stories. It adds a more human element to where you can really see the directors in their work, and that there's like more to say than just what's on the surface. I thought the whole sequence with the honey was like so dope because it's just like I don't know. There's something that was really just like artsy about like going all in with showing this, because it's not a war movie at all. But then we get all this like really war based imagery just in the middle of the movie. And I don't know, I just feel like it adds a lot to the aesthetic of the movie. It really adds like some grit.
Oh yeah,
to
for
it.
sure. Like it really richens the story
Mhm.
and makes there feel like there's more stake, more depth
Mhm.
to what
Not-
could have been just a standard sports drama
Yeah.
or character drama.
Yeah, because like now that I think about it, like a sequence like that in a sports biopic is like so like that's so out of the box. But no, it's dope. It's dope. And I think it's sort of an improvement upon the cutaway sequence they sort of have in Good Time.
Yeah.
That's what I think of in terms of like stylistic repetition.
Mhm.
But I mean, I love that sequence in Good Time. It is like it is one of the it is super funny. It's super fun. But I definitely think the one here is like it feels like the final version of like that idea because it's much more thematically relevant. You know, it's not just to move along the story. It's not even really in service of the story. You know, it doesn't really affect the plot. But I think it adds so much more nuance to the themes of the movie. And it makes, I guess, the morality of Marty's sort of philosophy on life more gray.
Yeah. And it's hard to even compare those two scenes. It's really just the way they're presented that's similar because thematically could not be more different. Like
Yeah.
their purpose in the story is not the same at all. And another thing I want to bring up that I talked about a lot in our last episode is Daniel Lopatin's score, which has always been like a core, essential part to Safdie Brothers projects. But I feel like he really reached new heights with this one, especially.
Yeah.
Reminded me a lot of his Uncut Gems score, where it's very synth, kind of like old orchestra, kind of heavy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Good Time was very electronic, kind of cyberpunky, honestly. But I think this one is really like the peak of his work. Like he's doing great things.
Yeah. And I think the most interesting part of the score in this movie is that in comparison to Uncut Gems and Good Times, it really knows when to not be there. I think there's a lot of moments in Marty Supreme where there's not a lot of music.
Yeah.
Where in Good Time and Uncut Gems, the music kind of accents really big moments. I think here it's really interesting that like Josh kind of lets things play out and if to create a more sort of I guess like grounded feel or like you really just feel like the intensity of certain situations when he chooses not to implement any score. But yeah, I know the music in general in this movie is just awesome. I mean the needle drops are just like perfect every single both times.
Yeah, all of their projects are just such audio visual experiences to me. Like I think anytime I think of any of these movies, it's always accompanied by the score or like the Foley or all the loud dialogue that's being presented. Like it's never a soft, like monotone experience. It's always very alive and like electric.
Yeah, I think they're the best product of like today's filmmakers like obsessions with like aesthetics and vibes, you know, because they can perfectly execute that whilst, you know, still bringing the substance.
I mean, I feel like we have to get back to this conversation piece. Marty himself. I mean, like any good Safdie brothers story, he is very insufferable and unlikable, and honestly, yeah, the big like genuine prick.
Like the literal villain of this movie.
Yeah. But there's something very endearing and charming still, despite his egotism and like how obnoxiously ignorant he is to fucking other people up and like fucking other people's lives over.
And honestly, like fucking himself over too. Like there are obviously he's a very intelligent person, but there are points where his ego gets in the way of like just his goals to where he just like fucks himself over for no reason. And I love that they show that too. But yeah, obviously like I think there's a sort of distance between you and Marty here to where like you're endeared to him and you're rooting for him. But I think compared to like something like Uncut Gems, it's not like if when he loses, you know, you're like oh, like you're really like just feel bad for him. It's more just like when he loses, you're kind of compelled by that aspect too, because it's about like, okay, how's he gonna get out of this now? His confidence is so shining that it's like, okay, you don't really need to feel sympathy for him most of the time in this movie.
Yeah, for sure. And the moments when he does get humbled are so satisfying at the same time.
Yeah,
Like the big one, of course, is
the paddle scene.
yeah, when he's on his knees begging Kevin O'Leary's character to just put him on the flight for the Japan
World
event match,
Championship, yeah.
and basically says, "You can do anything you want. You can have anything, do anything you want to me." Bends him over and smacks him on the ass with a paddle.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's just interesting because like oftentimes there's like a very big, like when you're following this kind of character, it's a very big just like humbling of the character by the end of the movie. I feel like in this movie, like, yeah, that scene is very like brings him down a notch, but it's not like he stops being an asshole after that. It's not like he really like fully learns after that moment.
No, honestly, to me, it's definitely part of it, but I see that as like the inciting incident for like the climax. Like I feel like that really is the point of like, okay, the story is coming to a close, and he's learning this lesson through a very poetically silly way.
I guess, yeah.
I mean,
And
of course, there's a whole other sequence that comes after, but
this is just another thing I love about the movie is that there's there's a great ending to the movie, but it doesn't really feel like things are really answered or like thing it's one of those movies to where like when you think about what happens after, there are a million different ways his life could progress after the movie. And I really enjoy that because I don't think when you're making a movie about hustle culture, I don't really think it's productive to have a positive or negative message on it. You shouldn't disparage it, but I also don't think it's productive to really promote it. It's really left up to the audience to really decide and apply it to, how they live their own lives.
yeah, it's honestly my favorite kind of ambiguity where they've given us so much to chew on and like pieces of the story that I feel like it doesn't feel unsatisfying that you don't have like a deep cut, like hard answer to where Marty's life is going. You just kind of see the events up to this point and where he could go.
Yeah, and
which
where
I
it
think,
sort of leads him.
which is going to leave me thinking about the movie a lot more. And yeah, this is definitely the most positive ending for a Safdie brothers character.
Surprisingly. Yeah, and I think that's also like been a big part of the discourse surrounding this movie. We don't have to talk about it too much, but just the fact that the movie doesn't necessarily treat Marty as like a hero or a villain. It doesn't glorify him or like sort of
Romanticize?
what's the opposite of that?
Like paint him in a negative light?
I mean, it paints him in a negative light, but it's not like he's like the movie tells you, okay, Marty is a bad guy. It doesn't really do either.
Oh, it doesn't. I mean, it just doesn't dumb down or talk down to the audience.
I think people are really kind of having a hard time with that because it's just like,
you wonder why audiences today TikTok brained.
Yeah, I also think it's just like this generation's like virtue signaling to where it's like, if a piece of art isn't 100% morally sound, it's basically nothing to them.
I would say there probably is a lot of that going around. There probably is a lot of people that watch this movie and go like, I'm better because I'm not like Marty.
Yeah. And the filmmakers probably think Marty's great because they're depicting it, which means they're promoting it. It's just that kind of mindset. But that's also
really
like
silly.
a great indicator of how like, you don't have to enjoy it, but a piece of art is something, it's worth something.
Yeah. And if Ben Shapiro hates this one,
oh yeah,
then they're cooking something.
You gotta see it.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really bring up much, but I mean, obviously the ping pong sequences are
great,
amazing.
There's something just like so intense about them. It's like ping pong. You wouldn't expect it to be like such a visceral experience watching it, but I mean, this movie just does such a great job of like putting you in the shoes of the two players.
Oh yeah, the final sequence especially. You can feel all the blood, sweat, and tears going into those matches and like the intensity of it. And yeah, I was really captivated by that sequence. Like I was viscerally like very shaken
Yeah.
and into it. And I think, yeah, that's exactly what a sports movie should make you feel like. You should feel
Yeah.
like in that mindset, in that zone. And it's crazy that the two most recent examples I can think of, this movie and Challengers,
Mhm.
are through sports you wouldn't really think at first to
Or, like,
like invoke these
crazy,
kind of
yeah.
emotions. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just really love the rhythm of especially that final ping pong sequence
Mhm.
and how, like, because it's a really difficult thing to sort of map, when is he gonna win here? When is, uh, Endo, his rival,
Yeah.
Japanese rival, when is Endo gonna win here to sort of create the most tension? It's just done seamlessly here. And I really love the scene where he steps to the side and talks to Kevin O'Leary's
Mhm.
character. I think what he says too is just so interesting and a great way to sort of set up his eventual victory in the end.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's such a interesting victory because while he does get, like, the spotlight and the moment he's kinda been waiting for,
Mhm.
he's also left with nothing and, like, no opportunity,
Yeah.
which is such an interesting place at this point of the story.
And it really like asks the question because ask the question of, was he really chasing greatness like he said, or was he chasing maybe more, I guess, material things
Yeah.
with that greatness? Because internally he knows he's the world champion
Mhm.
of ping pong. But, in technical terms and like in the public eye, he's still in the same place that he was at the start of this movie. Honestly, worse off, I'd
Yeah.
say.
Because he has a pretty all over the place relationship with, Rachel,
Mhm.
Odessa Azion's character,
Mhm.
and he's left with a child by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That culminates in, like, a very moving and, like, emotional final scene,
Yeah.
that I was not really expecting.
It's really the first time we see Marty, like, be vulnerable
Yeah.
like that.
But if it's so interesting because like, it feels so earned,
Mhm.
but at the same time, like, this is gonna fuck up his life even more.
Yeah.
Because like, it's clear he's learned a lot, but not enough to be a father figure.
Yeah. I mean, you could also be optimistic and be like, maybe this is what he needs to finally, like, lock in and stop being a
That too, yeah.
piece of shit. But, yeah, I mean, definitely, like, Timothée Chalamet's performance here too, like,
Mhm.
does a lot. And I think just ending the movie with "Everyone Wants to Rule the
Oh,
World"
yeah.
is, like, perfect ending. And that brings up another thing, just, like, the '80s vibe of the
Mhm.
score and soundtrack is just it's such an interesting combination with, like, the '50s visual aesthetics.
Yeah, we talked about this a little just separately, but it helps, to keep the movie from being dated at any
Mhm.
point. Like, there's, like, a modern sensibility to the movie.
Yeah. I mean, we got, like, Tyler, the Creator, and Timothée Chalamet at the forefront,
Mhm.
and, like, Kevin O'Leary too, all these, like, really modern people. But, and also I just think the movie is so, like it's so human
Mhm.
in a way. It's really centered around, like, human to human interaction, and I definitely think that's, like, a common thing with Safdie brothers movies, but I think here it feels like the most intimately human.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, a lot of the shots, like, there aren't many, like, wide shots. It's mostly just, like, really up close shots to where the characters are taking up the entire screen.
Oh,
I
yeah.
found that to be a really, really powerful choice.
Like any good Safdie brothers
Yeah.
joint. Yeah, all the, I guess, more dynamic and wide shots are saved for ping pong
Yeah.
or, like, the bigger settings that you're placed in. Because
Mhm.
this movie jumps through so many locations.
Oh, yeah. It's so interesting, like, what's a good comparison of the way this movie plays out? Because it kinda, like, plants a bunch of seeds, like, throughout the first and second act,
Mhm.
and they all come kinda crashing down, like, consecutively as the movie progresses.
Um, Under the
It's like
Silver Lake?
I guess you could say well, it's more like it's almost, like, comedic in a
Mhm.
sense to where, like, there's something that is about to go wrong because it was, like, foreshadowed earlier, and it goes wrong at the worst possible moment. It's that kinda dark humor, I guess, or, like yeah, that really benefits the movie's flow.
Damn, you're putting me on the spot. I can't think of a good example.
I feel like I had the perfect example in my head before we started talking,
Mhm.
but I lost it.
Well, let me know if it comes back to you.
But there are many great subplots. Like obviously, we didn't even talk about this, but Gwyneth Paltrow is in this movie. I think she came out of retirement just to act in this one, which was
she said she was retiring?
I think she did retire from acting. Maybe I heard something wrong.
Let me fact check this.
But I heard it from a TikTok, so
you're part of the problem. Okay, she did say she's gonna step away a little bit from acting.
Okay.
I mean, that just shows you how rich the story is on the surface.
Yeah.
That she felt compelled enough to come back for this role.
Mm-hmm. And she did a great job. I really haven't seen her in much.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've only seen her in movies where she kind of like plays a side character. So this is definitely the best performance I've seen from her. And I don't know, I think the arc that her character goes on is like really interesting. It's almost like Birdman-esque in a way. Like it feels like there's a whole movie going on with her character in the background that we just don't see at all.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been so strapped down by Marvel. Like just dead stop. Like that's been what's like holding down her career.
That would make me retire too.
She's really good in Contagion. She's good in Seven for the screen time that she has.
But she's barely in that movie.
She's pretty good in Shallow Hell.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that picture.
No, this is probably my favorite part. She's really good in Royal Tenenbaums too.
But yeah, that's just one of the good sort of arcs that happens in this movie. Her and Timothy's or Marty's relationship. It's strange because she kind of knows that he's just using her for her status and wealth, but at the same time she can't help herself but like engage with it and keep this going. And then there's the subplot with like the dog and the guy. I don't know what he is, but he's a dangerous guy.
The trademark bad boy of the Safdie brothers universe. That's Abel Ferrara.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And yeah, what he's given, like, I mean, his role doesn't demand too much, just kind of be intimidating, have some dryness to his vocals, his vocal inflection.
Yeah. This is a great job. I think the way he's introduced is like so funny because it just when the bathtub falls on him, which I think is like the turning point for the movie because that's when the chaos really begins and you really feel the Safdie brothers stress. Like that when that happened, that's when I was like, oh right, I'm watching a Safdie brothers movie.
Oh, okay. That just reminded me. So I saw this movie a second time this past week. And I didn't even notice this. Like my friend who I saw with, shout out Maddie, she pointed this out. But when he takes, like when he's going around tour and he takes a piece of that pyramid out of or the rock out of that pyramid, that's usually a symbol for like bad luck when you're taking a major piece out of like a big structure or some, especially pyramids like that. And that's at a point of the movie where, like you were saying, like it's a turning point, like events start to roll out and like go against his favor.
Wait, that's really interesting you bring that up because that happens in the next thing we're going to talk about. Like the exact same type of thing. But yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, which is something
I didn't even know that was a thing. But
yeah, something I wasn't really thinking about the first time. It just kind of went over my head as, oh, of course he's going to take a piece from a monument.
Yeah.
Like that's just a Marty thing to do.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, thematically, I think I definitely see that. It's like inclusion into the movie.
Yeah. And I just like how the whole subplot with this guy kind of comes in and out with the movie too. And it never feels jarring. It's kind of left loose until it's finally resolved. And it creates like a nice tension because there's always this like, along with the stress of what's going on the screen, there's also this like looming sort of like impending doom feeling too. It's like, oh, right, he's going to have to take care of that. Like, eventually.
And that, I mean, how that plot thread unravels, I feel like is the only part of the movie that's kind of like sensationalized or like fantastical, where everything kind of wraps up in a nice bow for Marty.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt the movie for me at all.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's the point of the story where he finally gets some semblance of peace and like resolution.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of
at the hands of like multiple people dying.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the biggest consequence of his actions. You know, like 2 people fucking die, but like
3
I
people.
think.
Wait, no, it's like 4 people.
Oh
It's
right,
the guy through the window, the guy in the car.
and the guy who got stabbed at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
And the guy in the house, and Abel Ferrara is probably dead.
Okay, a lot of people fucking died. But I really love how the movie kind of goes really insane with it too.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I didn't walk into this movie. I did not expect there to be like a fucking shootout at a barn or at a farm. Like this movie kind of hits all the marks.
Yeah.
And really goes for some awesome stuff, bro. Like that scene was awesome.
That shit slapped, bro.
It did slap.
That shit pinged and ponged. We got anything else we want to talk about in this movie?
Nah, I just really enjoyed it. It's an
Hell
movie.
yeah. I feel like we do got to mention, we don't really bring up award shows that much, but there's been some hype around Marty Supreme, specifically with Chalamet's performance. And that's a good sign of the Oscars this year, which I think would be completely justified if he took home the best actor.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are gunning for Sinners and Michael B. Jordan. I mean, I'd be fine with either one winning, but I'm definitely leaning towards Chalamet the most of any performance I've seen this year.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm just.
I
Sorry,
mean,
keep going.
It's really obvious that he wants it so badly. So it's like, I mean, after a performance like this, you really got to give it to him because this is such a Timothy-centered movie. He's in like almost like 100% of it, and he's really putting the work in. I mean, the character and the story's so intense. It's like, you know, just give my man his Oscar.
Yeah, he's due for it.
And he hopped on an SD Kid song.
Exactly. Like, see this mark? He was on Drewski.
He was on Drewski. Like he had his own jacket, bro. Like there's fits associated with this. Like he tapped into music, he tapped into fashion, he tapped into literally everything.
It's A24's day too. Like I feel bad. They put their efforts into like one project for the year. And I feel like it's finally that time that it pays off.
For sure.
I mean, I guess The Brutalist got really heavily recognized, but they fucked over its release last year.
Why?
Like it was not given that wide of a release.
Oh yeah.
Which is a side issue. But this year, they did better.
Yeah.
Marty Supreme, I like that it was everywhere. I like that a lot of people were going to see it.
For sure. Everyone was talking about it too.
Mm-hmm.
I just love those movies where it's like they're great. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's seeing it. It's good times. Perfect Christmas Day release.
Yeah, good Christmases. Marty Supreme Christmas Day this year. Nosferatu Christmas Day last year. What was the previous year?
Well, that's too far
was
back.
it Wonka?
That's too far back. I don't remember.
Wonka and Aquaman 2? Yeah, peak Christmases.
Maybe a bit of a step down in that one.
Yeah. Anyway, though, yeah. I mean, we talked about it last year. This is my second favorite movie of the year.
This is my favorite movie of the year.
So yeah, we liked it just a tad bit.
A little bit.
Ratings? How about you start?
Give it a 10 out of 10.
Ooh.
The best Safdie Brothers movie and my favorite movie of 2025.
Ooh. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, I loved it as well. I'll also give it a 10 out of 10. Not quite sure if I like it more than Good Time yet. That one is a very personal one to me.
Yeah.
But honestly, probably second place.
Yeah.
Which I was not expecting to walk away and say.
Yeah. I think for me, like Uncut Gems, like it was hard like saying I liked it, or it was hard deciding whether I liked it better than Uncut Gems. And I really think I still love Uncut Gems. It's still one of my favorite movies of all time. But I really think like with Marty Supreme, they've peaked with this sort of their signature style, and it's very unique in its own way as well. I think Uncut Gems just really came at a time to where I hadn't seen a film like it. But now having had that background, it feels like Marty Supreme is the fully formed version.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And before we move on from, I guess, Safdie Brothers, Marty Supreme, we were talking about this in our spare time, but I think it'd be really interesting, and maybe they don't even want to do this, but to get like a female driven character in the style of these these movies.
Oh yeah,
a female lead.
that would be very, very interesting.
Yeah, because the earlier movie, Heaven Knows What, is really great. I recommend that one. It follows a female lead actress, but I think in the style of Good Time or Marty Supreme, that could be really interesting.
Yeah.
To see their take on an ego-driven woman.
Yeah. An obsessive woman. I definitely think there'd be so many like more like nuances to that story. Because, I mean, it's a very male centric thing to be like, I want to be the greatest and I need to, be on top of the world and everyone else comes second to it.
Yeah.
But it's a very like male, like film bro type of story that people, that's what's kind of associated with it. So I think, yeah, following a female lead would definitely turn it on its head in an interesting way.
Yeah. And whether the Safdie brothers, kiss and make up, whether they keep pursuing individually.
Wait, did they split up because of beef? Like,
no, I'm trolling. It wasn't beef. They just wanted to explore creative opportunities.
Yeah.
Separately.
I definitely think The Curse is kind of that. Obviously, very different vibe.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would say like Emma Stone in that is kind of like a obsessive, like egotistical, like female lead. Just in a very different context,
I suppose.
Yeah, one could say.
Yeah, that was Marty Supreme Christmas Day. Marty Supreme Christmas Day
on Wannabe Artist 2026.
On Wannabe Artist 2026. 2026.
Let's go.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about one more thing after. We'll be back.
See ya. Yo.
And we're back for our last discussion of the episode.
Yes.
And before Joshua introduces it, I feel like I should make a formal apology.
To what?
And say I'm sorry that it took this long for your recommendation to come to fruition.
For how long? How many episodes has it been?
Many.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just throw it out there. I did end up watching your original recommendation. And I honestly don't think there's enough content for a full episode.
Really? Well, okay, did you enjoy it?
Yeah. I didn't think it was great, but...
Okay, bro. We're talking about a silent voice, by the way. This guy didn't think a silent voice was goated.
It was alright. That's literally all it comes down to.
Okay. That's understandable. It's a very, very a small scale story.
Yeah.
So
baby story.
It's not a baby story.
But as redemption, retribution. And take it away, Joshua.
Yeah, I made him watch a big story. It's a long, long journey. We went on when we watched it. I'm of course talking about the hit Broadway musical Hamilton, from 2016, written by Lin-Manuel Miranda and starring Lin-Manuel Miranda, along with a lot of people: Leslie Odom Jr., Anthony Ramos, David Diggs,
Renee Goldsberry,
Philippa Sue, and Oak. I will not say his full name because I don't want to butcher it, but
I'm not, wait, I feel like tradition I should try this.
Everyone calls him Oak because no one in the fandom can pronounce it.
Okay. No disrespect. I think this is a very cool name, but I'm gonna try to go off it just based on how it looks. Okeriete Onodawan.
Good job, bro.
Okay.
And Christopher Jackson, almost forgot.
And Jonathan Groff.
Yes. Okay, that's everyone. Oh, and who plays Peggy / Mariah Reynolds?
Jasmine Sessif Jones.
Jasmine. So that is the main cast, along with a very, very talented ensemble. And yeah, this man has never seen it in its entirety before, which is kind of insane, given how big it was when it came out.
And just to put it out there, we watched the 2020 released, or a 2020 recording.
The pro shot.
Okay, wait, I worded that terribly. The 2020 release of the 2016 original Broadway. Recording
with the original
on Disney Plus. Yeah,
which I think is the best way to consume it for the first time, because you really get everything. You get the original cast, and you get to see all of the staging, choreography, and lighting and performances too in their full glory.
Okay, great. Then I'm glad I experienced it that way.
Yeah. So where do we begin with Hamilton?
You tell me.
I don't know, bro. Like there's so much to talk about, I feel like. I guess we can talk about like the context of this story
Mhm.
because it's very clear that it was made during Obama era America.
Oh,
It's a very optimistic show in terms of its, themes and politics.
nearly 10 years old now, right?
It is, yeah, it's very, very old. And we don't have to get too into it, but there is obviously a lot of interesting discussion when it comes to the fact that it's telling the story of, these really racist slave owning pieces of shit
Mhm.
being played and portrayed in the style of, black people and black music. I wonder how that sort of landed with you, the
Mhm.
hip hop element of this show, obviously, because there's really no other musical like it. And I guess the costuming too and how everything looked.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, anyone who's listened for a while or heard past episodes knows that I'm not big into musicals, but I was very pleasantly surprised by this one.
Mm-hmm.
Not a history buff either,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a hard sell in general,
Yeah.
but I don't know, I feel like this presented it in a way that was very digestible and entertaining for me. And oh my god, you were just talking about it. What was and I lost my train of thought.
The costuming or the.
No, okay, it's influences. Yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised by the mix of different genres. The very traditional, what you think of like a Broadway musical, but also lots of hip hop and like boom bap
Yeah.
rap influences.
And there's
And
also a good amount of like jazz.
yeah.
Too.
And yeah, boom bap, like as a genre, I feel like I've only recently kind of been more familiar with or like been more introduced to.
Yeah.
Because I have a friend who does that genre of music.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it really added a lot of weight to the story
For
and
sure.
the musical identity.
Yeah, and it helps that like the cast can sell it perfectly
Mhm.
because they're all like everyone's really proficient in rapping,
Yeah.
which to me is a completely separate skill from singing. Obviously, there's some technical overlap, but yeah, there's a sort of swagger that this original cast has that I don't think
Mhm.
any other cast has sort of replicated. Not to not to shit on any of the newer casts that have continued the show. It's more just like there's that bias, especially
Yeah.
because they're the OGs. But yeah, and I think when it comes to the costumes, like they're really interesting because they're completely historically accurate from the neck down. And then
Mm.
when it comes to the head, like their hair or the hats that they're wearing, they went more modern. Like they
That
chose to
was
go
sticking
modern.
out to me.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, the hair being
Mhm.
different.
Yeah, because dude, I don't think this show would have worked with like the 1800s, like big white hairstyles.
It
But
could have been funny, like, depending on how they approached it.
yeah, but I don't know, bro. I think when the music is so modern too,
Yeah.
it would have been weird. But I think one that sticks out to me is Hercules Mulligan, the first
Mhm.
act, because he just wears a beanie the whole time. I think it's you don't even notice. I didn't even notice the whole like neck down, neck
Mhm.
up sort of principle they had with the costuming. But yeah, it works. It works really well. It's pretty seamless.
Yeah, I mean, phenomenal cast.
Mhm,
Um, yeah, I don't consume many stories where so much of the narrative is, like, told through song
mhm.
and, like, dance numbers too.
Yeah,
So I thought
that's another like thing I was kind of worried about. Like this is a sung through musical,
yeah, so I thought
which is
the way I was so compelled and, like, engaged in the story just through that experience, was very interesting to me.
yeah,
And, yeah, I say the cast is stellar, A game across the board,
yeah,
but to me, the exception of that sentiment is Lin-Manuel Miranda,
yeah.
which honestly, like, I have to say that him being at the forefront, his presence really brought down a lot of the experience for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, that And that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like I can't even speak on this like objectively because I've kind of grown up with the Hamilton soundtrack and I've just kind of grown to accept Lynn's voice as that is Hamilton. You know, there's nothing else that is Hamilton. But I definitely like, as someone who isn't like from the perspective of someone who isn't as familiar, you know, I can definitely see how that's kind of a roadblock, you know.
Yeah, and I'm not even gonna outright like say like he's terrible. He has no good moments.
Yeah.
But I just think in the context of working with um so many other performers who are so unbelievably talented
Mm.
and physically capable of such varied and crazy things with their vocals, it's a very hard sell to present yourself alongside talent like this.
Yeah.
Especially when you're at the forefront. And I kind of can't forgive him because he's doing that to himself as the writer and creator of this stage play.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of setting yourself up.
Well, it's interesting because he didn't cast himself as Hamilton.
Mm.
Do you know who he originally like imagined himself playing?
No, tell me.
He wanted to play Aaron Burr.
Really?
Yeah, which to me like is the most wrong thing I could have ever imagined. But
Yeah.
it's interesting. But yeah, I think where Lynn shines in this show is his acting the most. I think he does a great job of embodying the character. All of his eccentricities and sort of just like the very like ADHD-esque nature of like Hamilton and how he's just constantly, you know, working and like being an open book. I think that part of Lynn's performance is the highlight to me.
Yeah, I didn't mind him as much when he wasn't singing.
Yeah. But going back to your point, I think the biggest offender of like the sort of like mogging that happens in terms of singing. I don't know if there's a better way to put
Performance mogging.
Yeah, is the song "Dear Theodosia," where they where Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton sort of just sing a really sweet song about their children. And when we have Leslie Odom Jr. with his like gorgeous falsetto, just like perfectly hitting all these notes, and then we have Lin-Manuel Miranda having to follow that up, it's like, you know, it's a bit unfair.
Yeah.
And it kind of takes me out of that one song in particular. So I do see where you're coming from with that.
Okay, the only thing I will be honest about this and come down a little hard, I think it's his tone and a lot of the vocal inflections he has. Like his voice is very out of place in this setting to me. And I think that's the biggest issue.
Yeah, he doesn't have a Broadway sounding voice for sure. I just think too though that like it works thematically because Hamilton is kind of the black sheep in American history, you know.
That's fair. Yeah.
So there's that part of it too that sort of sells me on it. I don't know. I mean, I've heard so many like even like crazier like rap performances just in like more experimental hip hop to where it's like, okay, this is kind of like it doesn't feel like as like out of the box to me as maybe it would have like when I was younger, you know.
Yeah. And me not buying into his vocals especially is a problem through like more emotional numbers because I don't buy the emotion the same way I do from Leslie Odom Jr. Or Renee Goldsberry or Daveed Diggs, where I feel so much character and narrative purpose through them singing.
Yeah.
So that's really my biggest gripe.
Yeah.
And honestly, like my rating could have been higher.
Really?
Yeah, with a different lead, with someone who I bought more.
That's super interesting. I mean,
unfortunately,
you don't have to, but like if you do ever see this show, like if you're in New York and you see this show, I'd be interested to see how you react to a different Hamilton because it is a very interesting show without Lynn. I'll say that.
I'd be interested to see a different cast, a different reinterpretation of Hamilton.
Okay. All right. Well, I would love to take this track by track,
Mhm.
but like there's 46 songs and I doubt you remember all of them
Mhm.
like in depth. So I guess we could sort of talk about it just like in
Generally.
chunks. Yeah,
Yeah.
generally in chunks. Um I guess like we can start with like the opening and like the sort of beginnings of the story where
Mhm.
I don't know how well you remember it, but what did you think of the opening song is what I'll ask first.
I mean, it's definitely the most memorable to me.
Okay.
Like, its rhythm, its chorus, is very memorable, like,
Mhm.
of course, the "Not Throwing Away My Shot"
Yeah.
is, like, is reincorporated throughout the movie.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I just think it's a very technically well-performed song,
Mm.
and it's a good track to open on.
Okay, that's the third one. Not My Shot.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
maybe I'm
So
confusing
we're just talking
it.
about the whole first
Yeah,
chunk of the musical basically.
yeah.
Yeah. It's sorry, it's very hard to differentiate when you don't like know the soundtrack
Mhm,
like back to back, but yeah. Um what was I going to say? I think just this whole part of the story is like this was what really compelled me as a kid, where everything's being sort of introduced.
mhm,
Um it's definitely where like the style of writing here is very much like it's very much like the kind of Broadway writing where it's like it's a lot of telling instead
mhm,
of showing. But I think it works because it's sort of the exposition-y part of the story.
mhm.
And yeah, I love the song My Shot. It's the most well-known one for a reason because I think just like the bars are just so well written and like the
Yeah.
rhyme scheme is just like insane.
Very, very witty and very strong wordplay.
Yeah. And here we get introduced to all the Act 1 side characters, which are Aaron Burr. I mean, Aaron Burr's in the whole show, but
Mhm,
also we get the ultimate squad with Hercules Mulligan, John Lawrence,
mhm.
and Lafayette. And
Ja.
I
I don't know why I was compelled to hit that.
what did you think of the his David Diggs's performance as a French man?
I was definitely very caught off guard at first,
Mhm.
but, I bought into it
Yeah.
as time passed. But I was really impressed, not to jump too forward,
Mhm.
but how much he was able to differentiate the 2 characters he played.
Yeah.
I was very impressed by that.
Yeah, when Thomas Jefferson comes out, it's like, "Oh shit, is this a new actor?" But then you
Mhm.
realize it's him. I get that for
I mean,
sure.
I'm just so familiar with Daveed Diggs that, like, I knew it was him,
Yeah,
but, yeah, his presence is so wildly different between,
2 acts.
Jefferson and the first guy,
Yeah.
Lafayette.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I guess, like, moving a bit forward, we get introduced to the Schuyler sisters with
Mhm.
honestly, like, a pretty standout number. I think it's,
It's a look around number.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, that could be my favorite one,
Really.
and
It's a great song.
I
Yeah.
put this in my notes, that this one stood out as the first to not really feature Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I think honestly, like, I'm not even trolling at this point, like, genuinely, that's why it stands out to me
Goddamn,
as,
really?
like, this presence that I thought was detracting from the experience was finally gone,
Oh my
and I was
god.
able to just fully be absorbed by the music and the performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Renee Goldsberry, she's an amazing actress,
Mhm.
from Waves, if anyone's seen,
Yeah.
breaks my heart, and in Hamilton, she is out of this world with her vocals.
Yeah. Um, I guess we can talk about it now, but I really feel like her song that's a little bit later in the show
Mhm.
where she talks about that's sort of about her feelings and like the love she had for Hamilton, but how she gave that up for her
Yeah.
sister. I really think that's the turning point for this show to
Mhm.
where like you sort of realize that it's not just like going to be your standard show. It's
Mhm.
a very personal show because it really goes deep into, her psyche and like everything she thought,
Yeah.
which ultimately led her to make that decision.
I noted down the number "It Must Be Nice." that's heavily featuring Daveed Diggs and Leslie Odom Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought they were such a powerful duo together.
Yeah. That's
And
super late. That's super late in the show. Yeah. Washington on Your Side.
yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hard thing to describe, but just sensing that chemistry
Mm-hmm.
through the music between two people is something so
It's like
exciting. Yeah.
And that's like definitely one of my like favorite like villain team up sort of songs, if you can even call it that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think something I really love in that song, that just like captivates me every time is like when we have like Aaron Burr, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison,
Mm-hmm.
when they're sort of walking close to the end of the number.
Yeah.
They all have 3 like very distinct walks, which I think is like, it's such a subtle thing, but it's just so like powerful to me because it really just like gives the 3 of them so much life to their characters when they have like 3 distinct ways of walking.
Yeah, and I have to bring up like the staging, all the choreo, is so seamless. Like that was never an issue throughout the entire
Mhm.
play for me. Like I thought it was all very well done technically
Yeah.
and well presented. And I noted this down too. I specifically like when Washington uh is it the same number Washington says to Hamilton, talk less?
Was that Washington?
Or maybe
No, that's Burr.
is that Burr?
Yeah.
Okay. Wrong note. But I like that part because I agreed.
You should talk. Oh my god.
Talk less and sing less too.
All right, bro. All right, dude. The Lynn disrespect is crazy on this discussion.
My fault.
I mean, you're also glazing him because he did write everything, so it's
Yeah. No, I have immense respect for him.
Mhm.
This play specifically, I think is his finest work, and genuinely an achievement, like musically.
Yeah.
I can't speak too highly of his work following, but it's okay.
Yeah.
What? Nothing. Sorry. I'm just thinking of some Mufasa songs.
We don't have to talk about Mufasa. We're
What do
talking
you say
his
about my
peak.
brother?
But I remember you said for this one that you'd heard it before, but the song "You'll Be Back"
Mhm.
with Jonathan Groff. What'd you think about like just like King George in the show?
Definitely memorable to me.
Mhm.
I didn't really think too much about it thematically, but maybe you want to elaborate on like their narrative goal with his
Yeah.
cutaways.
I mean, it's more just like, I mean, it's obviously like a satire on like the character. It's kind of just like a blatant mockery of like of who he was. But I think a moment that I was stuck on for a while. This is going like really far into the show, but the Reynolds pamphlet number. There's a part where like King George comes in and like kind of dances, and I always like never understood why he was in that number. But I think it's really to just like communicate like, how far, the news that Hamilton cheated, like how far it reached and how like big of a scandal it was, to the point where it was kind of like an internationally known thing. But yeah, I just think that, personifying the British just works to sort of, have like an actual villain, instead of just like, or have like an actual villain for Act One, instead of just like having the British side of the revolution be sort of in the background. It's cool that he has his own numbers, that he sort of just commentates on the whole show too, like as things happen.
Yeah. It's interesting because I mean, like I said, not a huge history buff. Like, of course, I remember learning about a lot of this period through school
Mm-hmm.
and through these um historical figures.
Yeah.
But when it's narratives that I'm consuming like this that are like kind of um what's the word for it? Like faint in my head or like not too uh vivid.
Yeah.
Like I'm just really experiencing it not through the lenses like looking back on history, but more just like being consumed into that time.
Mm-hmm.
And it like I view it as like a narrative thing, which is really interesting to me.
Yeah. Wait, so you're saying like, since you're not too familiar with like the American Revolution, you kind of view it as like a in the lens of like a story.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
like, of course I know it's not it's these are real events that took place,
Mhm.
but in my mind, it's almost as if
Yeah.
it's like a fictional thing
Yeah.
that I'm seeing depicted on stage or screen.
No, I definitely get that. Like they make it look really cool in this show. Like especially the number Yorktown, which is kind of the climax of Act 1,
Yeah.
I'd say, where it's that sort of final battle before they win the war. I love that number because like they kind of just portray like that final battle as just a big dance
Mhm.
scene, which I think is like a really creative way to like showcase battle. And also with like Washington's introduction in Right Hand Man to where like there's a lot of like action too. I think that part of the show is like really well done to where they combine sort of lighting, sound effects, and like choreography to give off the impression of like a war.
Oh yeah, I noted this down too. Christopher Jackson, like he stole the show when he came in to me.
Yeah.
Like that number,
He has one of the coldest introductions.
yeah, that number, some of my favorite lyrics, and stage performances to me.
And that beat just slaps, dude.
Yeah.
That beat slaps. We haven't talked about the other lead in the show, but Philippa Sue as Eliza Schuyler, who was introduced in the Schuyler Sisters number. But along with the war storyline, there's also the storyline between her and Hamilton and their sort of romance. And I really think she works as like the heart of the show and gives the show a really good emotional core.
Yeah, I'd agree for sure. I wish she's given a better partner to work off of, but I definitely did buy into the plot of her character.
And I mean, she gets her own solo number too.
Yeah.
With Burn, which I think is one of my favorite moments of the show. Because, I mean, that vocal performance is just like, gets me every time. It's like really sad. Like, damn. Like, I feel like you rarely see that in stories, like the other side of, getting cheated on to like personal of an extent,
We don't fuck with cheaters.
Yeah, bro.
No.
We don't. But yeah. So I guess like Act 1 sort of acts as like a war story. But then Act 2 really shifts I guess like the vibe. It becomes a lot more grounded, I would say. I mean, as grounded as a musical can be, and more focused on like politics, I would say. So like, I don't know. To me, this is the most compelling part of Hamilton. Even though Act 1 has all the popular songs, I feel that Act 2 is where the show really shines for me. But I mean, I was wondering, what do you think about that?
I feel like I had kind of an opposite experience. Like, I think both sides of the story are super compelling.
Yeah.
But I think the flow of the first half is more kind of electric and engaging to me. Like, by the time the intermission came on, I was like, wow, that was like the first half of the story. Like, that did not feel like that length. And I feel like I definitely did feel the pace of it a little more in the second act.
I see. It definitely takes its time to just like sort of slow down.
It's not a bad thing in my mind either. Like I do value the character moments a lot and the emotional core of the story.
Yeah. I think a big aspect of why I like this act better is I think the side characters are better because, well, I think like Lafayette, John Lawrence, and Hercules Mulligan, they get a decent amount of time to shine. Like I really feel like when Daveed Diggs becomes Thomas Jefferson, when Oak becomes James Madison, and when Anthony Ramos becomes Philip Hamilton.
Yeah.
I think that set of characters is much more compelling, especially Jefferson and Madison.
I'd agree with that
too. Where they work as like more antagonistic forces. And this is a very, very nerdy knowledge, but in the opening number where it's like the whole like me, I fought with him. Me, I died for him. It's really interesting how Oak and David say, I fought with him, because it's sort of like a double entendre of how they fought with him in the war when they were Mulligan and Lafayette, and they fought against him when they were Jefferson, Madison.
Yeah, that's a very cool choice.
Yeah. But no, I think Jefferson and Madison really shake up the show in like an interesting way, because you really see things start to go wrong for Hamilton.
Yeah, which I was ready for, because I can't stand this guy.
I feel it's so funny because no one in the show really likes Hamilton except like Eliza, like his son.
Yeah, so it's like, did I feel justified? I felt justified in my disliking towards him and my annoyance.
Maybe that was the point
with him. It is just, maybe
he
it
did
is
a good job.
He was intentionally trying to get people to not like him.
Yeah. I mean, Hamilton's a pretty bad dude when you break the show down into like its like most basic parts, what his arc he goes on. But like Marty Supreme, I really like that aspect about it. How like it's an inspiring story, but it's not like a completely morally sound like arc that our main character goes on.
Yeah.
But what you said earlier about the pyramid thing, there's a sort of similar thing at the start of Act 2 in the song "Take a Break." When he's writing to Angelica, he mentions Macbeth, which like I guess in like theater lore, like you can't say that in the theater, or it's like bad luck. And like right after he says that, literally the number after is "Say No to This," where he cheats on his wife, and then everything goes downhill in his life from there.
Oh, I see. Okay, very interesting. Yeah, I always appreciate those little devices or small touches that like indicate a turning point in the narrative.
Yeah.
Even if it went over my head a little bit, but very interesting to hear.
Yeah, it's quite a turning point. I really think this is like my favorite part of the story, where we really see like Hamilton's like corruptness. Obviously, he cheats on his wife and "Say No to This," but I think the number after, "Room Where It Happens," is probably my favorite number in the whole show, because we see it all from Aaron Burr's perspective, who really had no part in this part of the story, but that's the whole point, that he wants to, stop being on the sidelines. And just like Leslie Odom Jr.'s performance here is just like so great.
Oh yeah, this is definitely my favorite performance, dance choreography. Yeah, Leslie Odom Jr. is such a great performer, like physically too.
Yeah, dude, because like I can't imagine belting those notes while doing all that choreography.
Yeah,
it's insane. I think Leslie Odom Jr. is my favorite part of the show. His number "Wait for It," which I completely forgot to mention in the first act, is like, it's between either this or "Room Where It Happens" as my favorite number. But I love the song "Wait for It." Honestly, like one of my favorite songs of all time. I just really love how like nuanced the themes of that song are, where it's kind of about, this idea that like playing things safe and like not really taking a chance on yourself, and sort of having this self-preservationist mindset that's like his philosophy towards life, which is in complete opposition to Hamilton. And I just think it's a really, really interesting thing to tackle.
Yeah, I mean, this is completely off topic. I like your analysis, but it's very refreshing to see Leslie Odom Jr. in this good of a role. After I last saw him in The Exorcist Believer.
Oh my god, I forgot he was in that.
Which is the most generic, stale performance ever. And also, it's just a terrible movie, baseline.
But that movie is not at all a good representation of like his abilities. Like he really does great here. I think he adds like a perfect amount of like grit to the show, because a lot of the times his vocal performance is very intense.
Yeah.
And like, obviously he has moments where he sings very like Broadway pretty, but then he also has moments where he can like really add like distortion to his voice and give like the sort of intensity that Aaron Burr needs.
No, I think we definitely need that kind of contrast. in a musical that's like tackling so many different genres. Like we need one person who like embodies that energy.
Yeah. And I'm just so hyper fixated on like the moments where he's like he really like is like giving it his all with his vocals, because it's like damn, bro, I've never seen a Broadway performance that's like this. Because like when you think of Broadway singing, it's often very, you know, technically like it's very technical and very like clean. Yeah. And I guess like another standout vocal performance for me is the number One Last Time, which is Washington's farewell address. I mean, obviously Christopher Jackson's been like putting up amazing performance up to this point, but
Oh yeah,
damn, that ending is like just some insane vocals. And I never thought I'd feel emotion over like George Washington, like stepping down as president. But I think it's really cool how they sort of implement like his real farewell address into the lyrics of this song.
Yeah, that is a really cool choice. And yeah, I did feel moved by that sequence too.
Yeah, and bro, I had something I want to say, but I forgot. Oh yeah, okay. There's the song "We Know," which is sort of when Burr, Jefferson, and Madison confront Hamilton for his suspicious financial activity.
Yeah.
And he sort of has to fess up that he cheated on his wife. Did the meme of this song like take you out of like watching it for the first time?
The meme of the scene?
You don't know like the "if I can prove that I never touched my balls" meme?
I don't think I've heard of
Bro, that is
one.
crazy that you've never seen it. Because I was low-key like hella nervous for that number that you were just gonna burst out laughing, even though it's like a hella tense scene. Wait, that's crazy. How have you not seen that?
Well, I'm just not tapped into the Hamilton world at all.
But
so.
that was like a meme that was like that transcended.
Wait, one more time. If what?
If I can prove that I never touched my balls.
I'll cut this out.
If I can prove that I never touched my balls, what do you promise?
Is that one guy who does like the sus parodies of songs?
I don't know. I don't even know who made that. I don't even know what legend made that shit.
That's really funny though.
Yeah. No, but that's one of my favorite moments of the show, because it's a very good like back and forth. It's really well written. Just like dudes talking scene.
Yeah.
Or did I ruin that song for you?
No, because my initial experience of it wasn't tainted by touching my balls.
True, yeah. That's like the Breaking Bad equivalent of like I mean, so many scenes in that show. But
okay, I mean, well, while we're on that note, like I do have to say, any of the scenes where Miranda like has to go for the very intense emotions did also pull me out of the scene as well.
I'm thinking like It's Quiet Uptown, like after Philip's death.
Yes, I noted that one specifically because I did not buy the emotions that he was going through,
Really?
or that this death was like impacting him.
Really?
Yeah,
that's interesting. I feel like that's like the highlight for a lot of people in this show. Like that's where the tears come for some people.
Did not hit for me.
I don't know. I feel like I never have an issue with his acting performance here. Like I think he like I don't think that's like the issue with it.
And I don't know. I think you can chop up a lot of my feelings about his performance to just my initial reaction vocally and musically when he first starts singing in the beginning of the musical.
Yeah.
I think that just kind of taints the rest of my feelings and like experience towards him for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
That I can't really unshake. And I'm gonna have like a more critical lens when I'm looking at him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I kind of come down. That's where I can be faulted, you know?
Okay, yeah, that honestly makes sense.
Yeah.
Bro, but I can't fault Philippus's performance during like Philip's death.
Mhm.
Like that scream that she lets out is like, damn, bro, like having to do that like 8 times a week on Broadway is like that's crazy.
Oh yeah, no, she was amazing in that
Mhm.
moment.
Yeah.
I like I said before, I wish she could be propped up by another actor.
Mm.
But yeah, I was definitely feeling the emotion of Eliza's character.
Yeah. It's really interesting how like I guess it all kind of culminates in the duel
Mhm.
between Burr and Hamilton. And I didn't really mention this talking about Act 1, but I love how duels are sort of represented in this show with the 10 dual commandments.
Mhm.
I just think that song is just like such a fun moment in the show. And I love how the motif of like the duel, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, how that's like constantly repeated. Like
Mhm.
especially in Philip's number, Blow Us All Away, to where like that motif is just like in the background. And it's like sort of foreshadowing that he's gonna die in a duel.
Oh no, it's super satisfying when those motifs like come back into play.
Yeah, and there's so much of this in Hamilton. What are ones that you might not have noticed? Oh, that hurricane in Yorktown, the piano is the exact same.
Mm.
What else? Obviously, there's the "Wait for It" motif from Burr. Obviously, his song "Wait for It," but that comes back. Obviously, Hamilton throws it back in his face in Room Where It Happens in a sort of like mocking way. And then it's funny, before he releases the Reynolds pamphlet, the whole ensemble is saying "Wait for It" because this is the one moment where Hamilton's sort of proactiveness is about to kind of destroy his life. Really. What are other ones? I don't know. Like, I think it's like one of my favorite parts of the show because like they're brought back, but they're always in different contexts, which I think is like a really powerful thing.
This is a completely separate thought, but I will say I don't want to bash on Miranda the entire time. I will say I really did enjoy any back and forth scene between Hamilton and Jefferson. I thought those were super
the cabinet battles
dynamic. Yes, yes, so those were really fun.
Yeah, the cabinet battle slap. I forgot to talk about those. I don't know why, but I just think the concept of making like the most boring thing in the world into like a rap battle and actually making it interesting is hella cool.
Yeah, that's such a fun choice, and I think that's where, at least to me, Miranda really shines, like with his wordplay.
Yeah,
and I think if he was rapping more and his vocal performance was more in line with that, I think his place would feel more right.
I see.
But I don't think he has like the range that Daveed Diggs or any other of the actors do
to pull off the more like melodic stuff.
Yeah, not at all to me.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, but yeah, the whole show sort of ends with a duel, which it's funny how like in Act 1 when the first duel happens, Burr is like, "Can we agree that duels are dumb and immature?" But then like he's the one who challenges Hamilton to a duel. And I love this number because it brings back the 10 duels, the 10 duel commandments. It's using the same instrumental, obviously in a different context. But I think Leslie Odom Jr.'s performance is just so intense because like you really feel like the fear and panic and anger like all mixed into one.
Yeah.
But I think the standout moment to me is when Hamilton's about to die because it's presented as just like a spoken word, a really like sort of manic spoken word passage. But I mean, what did you think about that part?
You're gonna be annoyed and hate me, but that specific moment did not land with me. Like it was very captivating, very powerful up until that point. I literally wrote down Hamilton's last soliloquy did not hit.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think it didn't hit conceptually or because of his performance?
I think it's a good mix of both. Like, I think conceptually is kind of funny and jarring to have an immediate cut to, am I gonna die? Is this it? Like, I think that's just really funny and like such a climactic moment.
Yeah.
And then his performance, yeah, it was not
Okay.
selling it to me,
I
unfortunately.
guess in terms of like the conceptual thing, like I get that,
Yeah.
but I just can't like. I just really love how he says, "I imagine death so much it feels more like a memory."
Uh-huh.
I just really love how he brings that back from all the way at the start of the show. So like it is cliche, but at the same time, I feel like I excuse it in my mind
Yeah.
because it was so like that seed was planted from the start.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's just like my own thing. Like I think there are a lot of cliches in the show that are saved by
Yeah.
the fact that they use motifs really well.
And this is something that honestly is just coming to me now, but I think a lot of the Broadway and like musical like isms
Mm-hmm.
and like technical presentations that are so, I feel like standard and like normal for a lot of Broadway shows. Like,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong. But I feel like a lot of those don't land with me the same way it does people who consume a lot more musicals or like stage performances than I do.
Yeah, it's definitely a very different experience,
Yeah.
especially from watching a movie to where, I mean, it's just the nature of like a musical where it's like you kind of have to be more direct. You can't be as abstract as you
Yeah.
can.
It's not even that I'm like so against those kind of choices or like adverse to some little
Bit of corniness.
yeah, some little creative dips or anything or like ballsy choices. It's just this specific moment just I don't know. It didn't land with me in the way that I'm sure it wanted.
Yeah.
Miranda wanted it to, or the way that it lands for a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, maybe I could show you this, but there is an original demo of this song
Mhm.
to where it's not spoken word and it kind of does the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 thing, but like from Hamilton's perspective.
Yeah.
Doesn't really work as well for me, but be interesting to see if maybe that works better for you. But
Because honestly, I feel like this is one of the only major moments of the show that where that was like an issue where I was pulled out by
the creative decision.
a musical or like a Broadway show decision.
I see. Yeah.
Because I mean, through the rest of the show, that wasn't an issue,
Yeah.
and I was never like thinking about the technical or like creative. I feel like it's harsh saying it, but like the boundaries that they have to like jump around. You know?
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. I can respect that. That sort of leads into like the closing number of this show,
Mhm.
which I think is like, I mean, it's always hard to end a Broadway show because it can always feel like, like I find with a lot of Broadway shows when it's ending, it really feels the need to like make its message like clear and to sort of like wrap things up with a nice bow.
Yeah.
And while I think Hamilton in a way does that, I just think the way it's done here is just so like emotionally impactful because I mean, this whole story is like surrounded around the idea of like legacy and just the fact that Eliza was the one who preserved Hamilton's legacy and dedicated her life to that is like such a beautiful moment in the story for me.
Yeah, the final number landed very well with me, and I like that theme a lot. It's like a very smart way to wrap up a historical retelling, and I think thematically that's very cool that it kind of like,
It's kind of like meta in a sense.
I was gonna say like self-aware. Yeah.
And it's just the orphanage part where she talks about like how she opened up the first orphanage in New York and how she says like how she sees his eyes and all the children that she takes care of. It's just like, damn, like that's a real, like, that really hurts. And and I love just the way the musical itself ends to where it's just Eliza just crying to the audience. And obviously there's like that moment is like left like purposely like ambiguous as to why she cried. So I'm interested to hear like what you think that moment meant in terms of the story, because I have my own interpretation. But
I wish I was given more time to think about this. I probably should have.
do you want to hear what I think?
I would love to hear.
Yeah. So I mean, Lynn said that like it's different for every Eliza. Like they have that conversation with every new Eliza they get. But I mean, I guess like the most like thematically sound answer to me is that she's sort of just seeing the audience, because it's sort of that confirmation that like, you know, her preserving Hamilton's legacy worked, because now there's a whole audience of like modern people that are seeing his story. And she's just so overcome with like with that she all she can do is cry. That's the way I see it.
That's very fascinating. I like that interpretation. Reminds me of a certain Korean movie that I won't spoil, where there's like a very self-aware, like look at the audience. Those who know.
Yeah. I don't know, but it's just like it's such a powerful way to end the show too. Like I think that's a very hard thing to deliver every night, but just like obviously the number itself is emotional, and then just seeing just like an isolation of that to end the show is like, it's always powerful. I like that ending number always gets me in terms of just like I cry. But yeah,
that's awesome. Honestly, like, okay, thinking about that now, that does recontextualize some things for me and how I feel about the story and how it's played out. Like I like that choice a lot by Miranda.
Yeah. And I guess like overall, like for me, this show is kind of just, obviously there's like the historical elements, but I really think it's just about legacy and how, you know, you can't really control how you're going to be perceived both now and like past when you're dead. So all you can really do is live your life the best you can. And I feel like I've always taken that message with me just throughout my life, because we see, you know, we see both sides of it to their extreme. You know, we see Hamilton and how he sort of shaped American society by both fighting the war and creating his financial system. And then we see like all his missteps too, like how he cheated, how he basically led his son to his own death.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know, it's a Marty Supreme like story to where like the overall message is very positive, but the way it's shown is very morally gray.
Yeah, it's very good at presenting the highs and lows of like such a grand life that was led.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like, to me, this is the most interesting way to consume history is through narrative presentation, especially through musicals or film. Like it's gonna be what's gonna get me to consume these stories.
Yeah, because if you can make something that's like educational, like go hard, then like everyone's gonna be into it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's probably why your history teacher showed you Hamilton. Oh my God,
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
That's what you get.
All right, fine, I deserve that. And when did you like first hear these songs?
I think back in like middle school, junior high. Yeah.
Horrible way to consume it for the first time.
Yeah, because genuinely, Joshua did tell me it's gonna sit very differently watching it through the production, like through the context of the story, and like genuinely it did. Like I think just listening,
that's great.
Just sitting down listening to these songs without the context is a very different and weaker experience.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I finally got the full context of it, the full meal.
That makes me very happy to hear
in its entirety,
dude. Because you've been hating, bro. You've been hating.
It was never like real.
Okay, yeah.
Grounded in anything hate. It was more just like, nah, just not. I don't vibe with it because of what I heard.
But I feel like now you can understand why this is the most like popular musical like of all time, kind of, or at least 20th century.
Yeah, I definitely understand the cultural appeal.
Yeah.
Would I pay the crazy amounts that people do see it or do pay to see it? I don't know.
I think I'd pay crazy amounts for this original cast,
Mm,
but I doubt a full reunion would ever happen. But
really?
dude, Leslie Odom Jr. came back a few months back,
Mm-hmm.
and the prices went to like 1,000.
God damn.
Yeah,
That's for one returner?
one return. Obviously, I mean Aaron Burr is like one of the main characters,
Yeah.
so it makes sense. But yeah, it's insane.
Damn.
And that's like been another big part of the conversation is that theater is a very, I don't want to say elitist, but it's a
Mhm.
very like upper class form of entertainment, you know.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't want to get into the whole Hamilton's problematic discussion,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just interesting how it's sort of like it's black art, but it inherently is going to be more consumed by white audiences.
Yeah.
More specifically like richer white audiences, and how the message of the show can sort of be interpreted wrong because of those circumstances. But
that's very interesting to think about.
Yeah.
Because I'm just gonna throw it out there and make the assumption that a lot of the audience is not thinking about Hamilton as in-depthly as you are, or as I am, or like thinking about anything in terms of its like artistic prowess.
And how it's like black people, like black men portraying like these sort of like these white men who were racist and owned slaves and were complete pieces of shit.
Yeah. And I guess that's just the overarching theme of what we're talking about in this episode.
True.
Is both texts, like it can either completely go over your head, or you're taking away the teachings of both characters.
It's interesting how like these two have like the same controversies, because back in 2020 there was the whole cancel Hamilton thing because
lol,
they're saying it glorified the founding fathers, which is like the most zero nuanced like thing you could take away from this show. But I think we're out of that era, you know, after COVID.
I'd hope so. I have a small discussion question for you. Would you be interested, or do you think it would work if Hamilton was adapted into a film version?
No,
not
at all. I think they should never touch Hamilton in terms of adapting it into a film, because I mean, so many aspects of it I only like because it's a musical. And I think Lin knows this. I don't think he's talked about it directly, but it seems like the attitude is that Hamilton should be left alone. It's also just the way the story's laid out. I mean, so much happens. Like if this was a movie, it would be so jarring because think like the whole first half of the movie would be the entire American Revolution, and the whole second half of the movie would be his entire life leading up to his death.
You don't want like a 3-hour epic, or like a Wicked Part 1, Part 2 situation?
I will literally like boycott like whatever studio tries to make this into a movie.
Those don't work.
No, they will. Mine will be powerful enough to stop it.
You'll start a revolution.
Yeah. But no, I guess it's just for me, like I view Hamilton as like, well, it's my favorite musical.
Yeah.
I just view it as like completely perfect. And I don't think an adaptation is even necessary. Because like, I mean, watching the pro shot is like the closest thing to a movie, like to the movie experience, while still maintaining, you know, it's it being a theater show.
Yeah.
So I really don't see the necessity for a live action movie.
Yeah. I was interested to hear your thoughts on that potential. I also don't think there's no need for it to be translated in that way.
Yeah.
Like I think it sits perfectly as it is. I think it's always just funny when a studio or like certain people think that they can just remove its identity and just put it in film format.
Yeah. And I understand a story like Wicked because like it's not a sung through musical.
Yeah.
And there's a very clear like movie like arc to it.
Hmm.
But Hamilton is just like I can't even conceptualize it in my head. It's too ridiculous of an idea.
Maybe they can make a movie about someone like Lin-Manuel Miranda fighting back against the studio adapting it into a movie. And that could be the plot.
Or they can make a movie about him making Hamilton. Because no, that's never been done before.
True.
All right. You want to give ratings?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll be giving Hamilton a 10 out of 10.
Oh, two
Yeah.
10s?
So yeah, 2 10s in one episode. I don't think that's ever happened. It's so funny because I loved this as a kid. Then I really hated it in middle school, like high school.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I've like grown up a bit and like really revisited it with, I guess, more context, not just of like the show itself, but like other pieces of media, I really think that this is a perfect piece of art, really tailored to like my tastes in storytelling. And honestly, I'm not like the most educated on Broadway musicals. I only really have like a surface level knowledge of it, but I really don't see another musical topping this. Like something would really have to blow me away because not just of the quality, but just how unique Hamilton is too. Like there's no other musical like it. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, if Joshua's surface level understanding of Broadway musicals, I'm deep beneath the surface. With that said, though, I was very, like I said, pleasantly surprised by Hamilton. And I'd be willing to revisit this with fresh eyes and like after this discussion. Because I genuinely do think there's something gold here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was weighed down by a major creative decision that I can't forget about.
Yeah.
It could have been an 8 out of 10, but for now it'll be a high 7 out of 10.
Okay, that's respectable. Honestly, like I think that's an egregiously low score, but I can't even argue with it because of your reasoning.
Yeah.
You know, that is a big factor whether you buy into Lin or not. But so you'd rate this an 8 if there was a better performance?
Yeah.
I'd see.
Being so honest, being so for real. So for real.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it though.
I did. I owed you this.
Yeah. And like, you know, obviously like making you watch a 2.5 hour, 2 hour and 40 minute actually, that long of a thing, like sometimes I feel bad. Like in other situations I'd feel bad, but I think with Hamilton it really flies by.
Yeah, like
So,
I think I'm the last person you should apologize about
sure.
a long run time. I just watched Castration Movie Anthology 1 and 2.
Yeah, you're an expert in this.
4 hours and 5 hours. I just watched Jean Dielman, the 3.5 hour movie about a woman cleaning her house and doing her daily routine.
Let's go.
So this was light work.
Yeah. It's always a commitment, like making someone sit through Hamilton. But
no. I didn't think I was sitting through it. I was enjoying it.
Let's go.
Great.
I was too. I always love revisiting the show.
Awesome. Well, 2 very good film experiences.
Yeah.
Next episode, the big 2-0. We're going to be doing something special. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be very special and awesome.
It's going to be huge.
So big.
And girthy. It's going to be a girthy episode.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's going to be cool. It has to do with 2 of our favorite pieces of media. And that's all I'm going to give you. So we'll see you then.
See ya.
Bye-bye.